The term love bombing is certainly getting its fair amount of attention these days, and I, for one, am very glad that it is. I believe in exposing narcissistic abuse. But love bombing is where it starts. So let's examine the first stage of narcissistic abuse, what experts call the love bombing or the idealization phase. While this term might sound abstract, I want to share what it actually looks like through real experience. I'm Grace, and I was able to escape a terrifying grasp of narcissistic abuse. I wrote a book about my experience. The book is entitled Love Crimes, and it will be released soon. But for now, let's examine the depths of love bombing. When a narcissist first appears in your life, it seems almost magical. Take my own story. I met him at a neighborhood bar. At the time, I was very naive about this personality disorder. I had no idea what it was, to be honest with you. But within moments of meeting, he was already displaying the classic signs. He wasted no time in touching me. He ran his fingers down the back of my neck the very first night I met him. He moved very swiftly to spend more time together. In fact, the very next morning, after meeting him for the first time, he was calling to make plans. The intensity of attention was overwhelming. He showed up every single night, and he would come with gourmet food and fine wines, and he would cook elaborate meals. He showered me with expensive jewelry. Each gift was carefully timed and presented for maximum emotional impact. He created magical moments, trips to the coast with ocean views and romantic settings. He made everything feel like a fairy tale. They call this love bombing. But here's what makes love bombing so dangerous. The gifts and attention are distractions, so that you don't see the real person behind the mask. The toxic one is carefully observing you in this love bomb phase, and then mirrors everything you love. He seemed to share all of my interests in art, food, wine, walks on the river. He talked about our future together, about the home we would share. He painted this vivid picture of a life that we would build together. What makes this phase so confusing is that everything they do is wonderful. The way they make you feel about yourself, about the possibility of a beautiful life with them. That's why intelligent, capable people miss these red flags. Because who doesn't want to believe that they found their perfect match? But there's a crucial thing to understand. Love bombing isn't love. It's a calculated strategy to create emotional dependency. Every gift, every passionate kiss, every shared moment is carefully orchestrated to draw you in deeper into their web. In my case, what seemed like romantic spontaneity was actually the prelude to years of emotional abuse. This is the cold, hard truth. Their love is not genuine. It is fake. And it is the first thread of what becomes a web of control and manipulation. Does this pattern sound familiar? Have you experienced something similar? Understanding these early warning signs could save you years of pain. If you are just now experiencing something like this, watch for these critical warning signs. Excessive texting and wanting to spend every moment together. Lavish gifts that feel overwhelming. Talk of a shared future very early in on the relationship. Mirroring your interests and preferences exactly. Moving the relationship forward at an unusually rapid pace. Making you feel special or chosen in an intense way. In the early stages of a relationship with a toxic person, over-involvement typically manifests as an unnaturally accelerated intimacy that feels overwhelming yet flattering. Over-involvement in narcissistic relationships begin with what appears to be an intense connection and interest. The narcissist doesn't just enter your life, they consume it. They want to know everything about you. They want to meet your friends and family immediately and integrate themselves into every aspect of your routine. Now, this might look like constant communication, the texts, the phone calls, the messages that make you feel perpetually connected. They may suggest spending every available moment together, creating a false sense of deep intimacy within weeks or even days, rather than the months or years in typical relationships and building a real connection. The narcissist often positions themselves as the solution to problems you didn't know you even had. They might insist on helping with tasks you've handled independently for years, creating dependency under the guise of caring. They may also be making future plans prematurely, discussing marriage, children, living together, or buying a house together when you've barely begun dating. What makes this over-involvement so effective is that it's presented as exceptional love rather than the control that it really is. The message is, I'm so invested in you because you are so special. But in reality, they are saying, I'm monitoring your life because I need to establish dominance. Here's the danger. This intense focus feels like a romantic connection that you've always wanted, making it difficult to recognize the boundaries that are being violated and that are occurring beneath the surface that you may not even see yet. The love bomb is indeed a trap. And once it snaps shut, you find yourself caught in a relationship dynamic that's difficult to escape. The same person who showered you with excessive affection, compliments, and attention now reveals a different side. The intense communication that once made you feel special becomes a tool for monitoring your whereabouts. The desire to spend every moment together transforms into jealousy, maybe, and even isolation from your support network. The grand romantic gestures disappear, and they are replaced by criticism and the heartbreak of emotional withholding. What makes this trap so devastating is the psychological whiplash. You constantly chase the return of the initial perfect person who seemed to adore everything about you. This creates a powerful trauma bond where moments of intermittent kindness feel like relief among the growing emotional abuse. The narcissist has strategically positioned themselves at the center of your world. making the idea of leaving complicated and painful. They've taken notes. They've learned to pinpoint your vulnerabilities. They've gained access to your resources and potentially eroded your confidence and sense of self-worth through subtle devaluation. Remember that recognizing the trap is the first step towards freedom. The love bomb may have caught you unaware, but understanding these patterns can help you break the cycle. Recovery means reclaiming your reality, rebuilding your boundaries, and rediscovering the self that existed before the love bombing began. And believe me, this is hard to do once your life has been hijacked and your brain has been manipulated. No one walks willingly into abuse. The trap is designed to be invisible until it's too late. With awareness, support, and time, it is possible to free yourself and heal from the damage caused by narcissistic love bombing. Please know that you are welcome here as we build this community of survivors and work towards moving on to live lives that are joyful and free from emotional injustice. So subscribe and journey with us on this awakening and healing path. The awakening and healing path is where we are going to break it all down, to understand what happened to us, and to work on the deprogramming of their abusive tactics. Once we have awareness of what happened to us, we can experience our awakening. The awakening then clears the path towards healing. Please share this with someone you may know who needs to hear this. Together, we are going to find that joyful and peaceful life that we deserve.